Welcome back, community, to another Keeping It Real with Dr. Anita podcast. I am your host, Dr. Anita Polite Wilson, C-Suite Trusted Advisor, Board Director, and Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging Strategy Consultant, helping members of the C-Suite and their teams reframe diversity conversations from difficult to different. Welcome back to another real conversation from the C-Suite with my cohorts from the Goldman Sachs Small Business Program. I am so excited to have back with me Ms. Pearl Hanks, Principal at P Enterprise Consulting Services, Kristy Grant-Hart, Founder and CEO, Spark Compliance, Marina Grijalva, Founder and CEO of Mundo Academy, Sade Stephenson, Program Director, McKallen Medical Training Center, and Dr. Gloria Tumbaga, Founder, Wellness Diagnostics and Medispa. Welcome back, ladies. I know that you and the entire community notice that I always slow down when I get to Marina's last name because I want to make sure I get it right. But I think for our last conversation, I'm just going to introduce you by your first name because it saves a little time too. Does that work for everybody? All right. So the question of the hour for this conversation is this. What do you feel is your most significant contribution in the area of science, technology, engineering, the arts, or math? And community, just to get you grounded in the conversation, Dr. Gloria and Sade both align with science. Kristy aligns with technology. Pearl aligns with engineering and math. Marina aligns with the arts in terms of the humanities. And then Pearl is identifying with the disciplines of engineering and math. Did I get everybody's category right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Y'all are making me work hard today. I got to say, I love having a panel, but my goodness, this is a lot to manage. All right. So again, the question of the hour for today is, what do you feel is the most significant? See, I make it look easy, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes over here. So the question of the day is, what do you feel is your most significant contribution in the areas of science, technology, engineering, the arts, or math? You have shared with me your category. So now share with the community what you feel like your most significant contribution is. And Marina, I'm going to start with you, humanities and the arts.
Absolutely. So the majority of our programs are related to literacy and English language development. So most of our work has to do with students who are in K through 8. We do work with some high school students, but the bulk of our work is through K through 5, with some work in 6th through 8th grade, and helping students really learn how to read. And because reading is fundamental, and we cannot move forward as a community, as a society, if our young people don't have the basic literacy skills that they need in order to survive in society. And so that's one of our biggest contributions. And that's one of the things, all of our programs are designed to help students in that area, because then once they are able to become good readers, and they can access math, engineering, science, all the other areas at a much easier and faster rate than they can, especially now that all of these other areas are related to the Common Core, and there's so many problems in logical thinking that if they're not able to read those correctly, then they're not able to move forward. So our programs are really designed to help students get those foundations, so that then once they move through the school system, then they become all that much more successful.
Absolutely. A couple of things that came to mind when you said reading is fundamental were those Schoolhouse Rock commercials that used to play on Saturday morning. Does anybody else remember those commercials? Okay. I love those commercials. Conjunction junction, what's your function? I'm only a bill, right? We need some more of that to help us remember these things, especially kids. But then when I think about education in general, I have always said that education is a great equalizer. And when we talk about being able to think logically and critically, Pearl, that kind of goes to the work of engineers and how everything that they do has to be logical and aligned and make sense. So tell us about your work, Pearl, at P Enterprises, and how that is aligned with the category of engineering.
So once Marina gets them ready and, kind of graduates and comes through college, our focus primarily at P Enterprise is, really from a social perspective of cleaning up unused land or contaminated land. So in Los Angeles area or anywhere else in California, everything is really contaminated and dirty, but we only have this much land. So our social value that we bring to the table is we look at it from an engineering and science perspective, use math as our guidance to guess what's below the surface because you can't really see very much, and then create a business strategy that aligns with the client's economic value to develop remediation systems that clean up the water, clean up the land, clean up the air, and create land and use and real estate for people to use, develop commercially and residentially. So I'm hoping with Marina's work, the interest in math and science continues. So someday I can retire, because it doesn't seem like anyone wants to go into this. Everyone wants to go into technology, which is, kind of up and coming. But I think math and engineering just gives you a very strong foundation in building something where it goes on for years and years and no one really knows you were there, but that's the best way to be.
I love how you just said no one really knows you were there, but that's the best way to be. And I am by no means trying to compare myself with the work of what you do in your engineering background. But I have to say, I know when my clients get it, because when I hear them using the language that I've introduced to them, but they use it in a way that they have owned it as if it came from them. And to your point, when we know that we're benefiting a client, but they have embraced what we've taught them as if it was organic to them, that's when we know that we've made a difference. So thank you for sharing that. And your segue to technology, I guess, Kristy, you're up next.
Absolutely. So my company does consulting and training for corporate people. And that's anti-bribery, anti-slavery, data privacy, trying to resolve conflicts of interest, and corporations doing the right thing. So we developed a game called Compliance Competitor that multinationals can use to train people. And we worked with a psychologist from University College London to help us to develop it with adult learning best practices in mind, because so much compliance training is terrible. Anybody who's had to do awful click-through training that isn't specialized, it isn't meant for them. They're not examples that relate to people who are working at the different companies. And so we really saw an opportunity to create something different. And when I was developing it, I thought, you know what, I need to make this business specific. And we used business simulation software. So you see the effect of your outcomes on the business in terms of fines, in terms of how much the company made, whether or not it got in trouble, its stock price changed based on reputational issues. So really trying to bring real world experience into corporate training. And I think that if people get it, if they truly understand, why bribery ruins lives, why modern slavery in the production line is so destructive, then that changes how business is done, and that technological innovation will last and make a difference.
I appreciate that. And some of what you said reminds me of ESG, right? And the importance of that, and the importance of making sure that we're very careful not to be found in the cycle of greenwashing, saying we're doing one thing, but we're really not, or we're saying that we're doing more than we really are. And to that point, you had mentioned real world examples, and that kind of takes me to Sade. And I believe you have a dual category, Sade, of math and science. Yes.
Yes. Our program.
When we're talking about the training that you do in your business to help people with their daily lives, tell us about that and real world experiences that you are able to impact through the work that you do.
Well, when students enroll in our program at McKallen Medical Training Center, we get a mix of different reasons why they are entering into healthcare industry. And it's our job to make sure that they understand what they're getting into and how to provide safe care to the patients and the residents and the people that they're going to be caring for. And so when they come into our program, we are teaching them basic patient skills, basic caregiving skills. We're teaching them how to take care of themselves. We're also teaching them life skills like time management and organization, how to make sure that they follow up on their deadlines and do what they said that they were going to do. So we're teaching them professional skills, we're teaching them life skills, and we're also giving them soft skills, because the way that they communicate with each other, the way they communicate with their peers and their patients to remain professional, even though they may be dealing with difficult things, difficult moments, difficult conversations. I call them crucial conversations. Teaching them how to handle it, practicing and creating like case scenarios and just role play of maybe you should try this differently, maybe you should do this differently. Because even though you've worked in different industries, for example, like real estate, or I would say or even fast food, the way that you communicate in a fast food industry is not the same as if you were in the healthcare industry. It's just a different angle, different conversation. It's just, honestly, is different. And so we teach our students that, because when they're in the process of transitioning into this new role, we want them to have a solid foundation to be successful, and then honestly take some of those skills that they learned in our program and apply it to life. So
and that's a lot. You are really,
it is
like
a lot.
a one-stop shop for young adult development is what I hear. And I love how this conversation has just kind of come full circle. So we start off with Marina and the humanities and the arts in terms of tutoring and math and all of the foundational knowledge that we need to perhaps be successful as an engineer, to perhaps being successful in technology, to then going and using all of those skill sets that Marina and Pearl and Kristy bring to society, to Sade, to help round a person's developmental experience as a young adult, so that by the time we get to Dr. Gloria and we're out here being bosses, we understand the importance of our wellness and the need to go to a med spa. So Dr. Gloria, tie it up for us in terms of, y'all like the way I did that? See, now you have a justification to go see to go see Dr. Gloria, because it's
beautiful,
right?
Yes, absolutely.
So Dr.
Yes,
Gloria, bring us home.
That's correct. All right. So I'm an anti-aging and regenerative medicine physician. And so basically what I do is I help people look and feel good about themselves, not only from the outside, but also on the inside. Many times people come to my clinic because they have low self-esteem, or they want to prepare for a wedding, or they just want to look good. I have a lot of business owners in the area, and they just want to be their best. They're realtors, they're attorneys, they're doctors. And so I work with them so that they can slow down the aging process. And so what I'm really excited and proud about is that I attend all these conferences, especially with regenerative medicine. And I really, really love it, because that subject in science and medicine is using the body to heal itself. And we can heal ourselves. Believe it or not, our mind shapes our body. And a lot of the things that we do, we have to overcome it here. And so oftentimes I am literally performing a treatment on a patient, and then they're disclosing something to me, and then we're actually healing them in real time. And so I really, I love medicine, and I love what the new technologies that are out there can do to help, get that process going for some people. And that's all they need, is like maybe like something to tell them, hey, instead of focusing on one thing that they don't like about themselves, let's focus on, wow, look at you. You look so, you don't look your stated age. What are you doing? Focus on all the good things about them, and then that'll help them build their self-confidence. And then also with that, they can learn how to, I love educating patients on what the different technologies are out there. So that's what I try to live it myself. We talked about boundaries earlier. And for me, I was just on that burnt out side. And so now I have a non-negotiable, like I have to have my own time, my me time all the time. Sundays, I have my workout, pickleball, and then I go out to eat. That's my non-negotiable. I have to do that. And I want to be able to inspire other people to do that as well. And for all of us here on the panel, we got to just tell us, nope, I'm going to have my me time. Nope, I'm going to not look at that email or that text message. I'll do it later. And take care of you.
I agree. Take care of you. I think that is a fabulous way to end this particular episode. I do want to say that when it comes to Dr. Gloria, what she's doing for society, what she's offering to the is just as important as what any of these other ladies are offering to the world. Because here's the thing, we need to take care of ourselves from the inside out. That includes rest, that includes nutrition, that includes training of your brain, that includes enough sleep. Don't get to the point where you have to come to Dr. Gloria and say, I need you all over. Coming to Dr. Gloria should be something that we do as a way to just kind of pamper ourselves, to appreciate ourselves. I love the fact that she's got her Sunday routine. I have a similar routine. I go to a place where I actually get compression across my body to help my blood flow, keep circulating. My husband and I go for a walk at the beach, and then we go and just enjoy a nice meal together. So this conversation, I really appreciate all of the strengths that you laid on the table. And I'm sad that our next conversation is going to be our last. But community, make sure you come back, because in our last conversation, we're going to be talking about legacy. And between now and then, I want you to think about, what legacy are you developing? What legacy do you want to leave? Whether or not you're the CEO of your own company, you are the CEO of you. So think about legacy between now and next week. Please, if you want to hear this conversation again, or our previous conversations with our very special Women's History Month, Real Conversations from the C-Suite guests, the website, dranita.com. On the landing page in the center at the top, click the link that says Keep It in Real Podcast. While you're there, please check out my resources and services. And a favor, get in the flow, follow, like, and overshare any podcast that helps you reframe diversity conversations from difficult to different. Until next time, this is Dr. Anita reminding you to stay blessed and keep it real.